right. All right. I would like to call the meeting to order. Mr. Canales, can we please have roll call?
Ms. Calvez.
Present.
Ms. Carasola. Ms. Carr.
Here.
Mr. Corey.
Present.
Mr. Hayward.
Here.
Ms. Scarpelli.
Here.
Ms. Stevenson.
Here.
Ms. Rundell.
Here.
Dr. Robinson.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Excellent. Ms. Calvez, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Adequate notice of meeting. In accordance with PL 1975, Chapter 231, notice of tonight's meeting was mailed to the Record and the Ridgewood News on January 9th, 2024. Notice of this meeting was also mailed to the Borough Clerk and was posted on the bulletin board of the Board of Education office in the Administration Building on the same date. Copies of the procedures in effect for regular board meetings are available for public at tonight's meeting. Mr. Corey, are you able to read our mission statement, please?
Yes, I am. The Glen Rock School District, founded on principles of education in partnership with the supportive community, provides an exceptional education to all students to cultivate resilient, responsible, and engaged global citizens.
Thank you, Mr. Corey. We would like to welcome Ms. Sharia Kantharia. Sharia is a junior student and will be reporting some good news to us tonight and as well for the rest of the school year. Do you have a report for us?
Okay, so I have a few reports for this month.
Are you able to pull it a little bit closer? Just, yeah, a little closer.
So on January 12th, our high school DECA team attended the Northwest District competition at Ramapo. Well, they were very successful, as well as our robotics team, who went to Blair Academy, winning first place, as well as beating 21 other teams from all over North Jersey. The marking period is coming to an end on the 29th, which is next Monday, where all of the students are getting ready to finish the first semester and move on to the second, as well as starting their new elective classes. Our winter sports seasons are also coming to an end within the next couple of weeks, wrapping up a very successful season. The cheer team welcomed 2 new coaches and have been off to a very good start. They also placed first at the Hackettstown cheer competition on Sunday, where they performed a perfect routine. The middle school students will engage in countless activities for Advisory Day tomorrow, January 23rd, where their main focus will be goal setting. Essentially, each Advisory Day is intended to help students with their social skills and executive functioning skills, and they're normally hosted every 6-ish weeks. Lastly, the high school musical is coming up on February 8th and 10th, where they will be performing Beauty and the Beast, which is a really big production where everyone has been working really, really hard. Therefore, they're expecting a really big turnout, and it's family friendly, so everyone can come. That's all for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kantharia. I'm really excited as well for that February 8th and 10th presentation. Do you think you're going to be there? Or do you think you're going to be there too? Okay, I hope to see you there. Dr. Charleston, do you have anything for us tonight?
Yes, so we have Dr. Lauren Daniels here tonight, our Director of Student Personnel Services, and she has some recognition of our students. So, Dr. Daniels.
Good evening, everyone. I'm excited to share the news that 6 of our students have earned academic distinction through the College Board's National Recognition Program. These outstanding individuals stand out amongst thousands of high-achieving students nationwide, being recognized for their impressive grades and outstanding performance on the PSAT and MSQT and their AP exams. They proudly identify as African American or Black, Hispanic or Latino, and Indigenous or Native. Their dedication and achievements shine brightly, and we take pride in recognizing and celebrating their academic excellence. Congratulations to each of these outstanding students. Bradley Thomas, National African American Recognition Award. Elena Collado, National African American Recognition Award and National Hispanic Recognition Award. Emma Johnson, National Hispanic Recognition Award. Leah Holzer, National Hispanic Recognition Award. Linda Chiappetta, National Hispanic Recognition Award. And Marina Martel, National Hispanic Recognition Award. Congratulations.
Come over here, guys. Congratulations. Dr. Robinson, right? Nice job. We're going to take a picture, though. Sorry. You got congrats. Nice job. Congratulations. Good job. Good. Right over here to go. We also have a brief presentation tonight, Relay for Life. I think Ms. Forshot and Ms. Brown are here, and students as well. So I'm going to turn it over to Relay for Life.
Hi. We also have flyers for you guys, all if you would like them, if we can pass them. Hi, I'm Alana Putzer, and I'm one of the captains. Okay. Hi, I'm Alana Putzer. I'm one of the captains for Relay this year, and then I'm also one of the chairs for fundraising/chocolate and apparel.
Hi, I'm Audrey Damis, and I'm one of the captains for Relay for Life, and I'm a chairperson for recruitment and activities.
Hi, my name is Isabella Roth, and I'm an officer for the club, and I'm a chairperson for the apparel committee.
Hi, my name is Gavin Mealy. I'm a captain for this club, and I'm also a chairperson for the car wash.
So we'd like to tell you a little bit about our club and what we do. Relay for Life is a student-led program that organizes fundraisers for the American Cancer Society throughout the year. We organize a big 12-hour overnight event that takes place in June. This event not only raises money for the American Cancer Society, it also gives us a chance to celebrate cancer survivors and remember loved ones lost. The mission of the American Cancer Society is to improve the lives of people with cancer and their families through advocacy, research, and patient support to ensure everyone has an opportunity to prevent, treat, and survive cancer. The American Cancer Society has invested $3.1 billion in cancer research since 1991, contributing to 3.5 million fewer cancer deaths. Now, some of my fellow club members will discuss some of the fundraisers we do throughout the year.
Our first fundraiser of the year this year was chocolate sales. We sold over $750 to raise for American Cancer Society. We're also contemplating on doing it again later this year. It's one of our biggest fundraisers, and each bar is $2 each, and then it's a great way to raise money and also give chocolate to everyone.
Another one of the fundraisers that we do is our apparel committee, which takes place every year, where we have a team shirt and then we have additional apparel, sweatshirts and sweatpants. And not only is it a great way to show support for Relay for Life, it's also a great way to show school support and Glen High School support, and all of the money goes back to the American Cancer Society.
And then just another one of our fundraisers is our annual car wash, which actually raised over $800 last year. We usually get about 30 to 35 participants. The kids look forward to it every year, and it's just a really fun for the community and everything. We look forward to seeing everyone each year.
So now, I'm sure you're all wondering what we're here for, which is to ask you guys for your support to come out and support us as the school board and as the town for our event. As you can see on the flyers, our event is in June 15th to 16th, so it will be warm out. It's a great time to come out. It's on the track, on the field right here at the high school. And you can come, you can donate money, you can buy a Luminara, which is really a great way to remember loved ones who have suffered from cancer. And all proceeds and all profits at the actual event do go back to the American Cancer Society. We don't keep anything, we give it all back to them. And it's just a great town event, and there's going to be a lot of fun things. We're looking at getting food trucks, and we want to have local town businesses there to support as well. So it's just a great way to get the town together, and we really hope you guys can come out and support us. And there's a bunch of ways for supporting. You guys can make a team, or you can just simply come to the event in the summer.
It's also a great way to get your steps in since it's all about walking the track. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you. I believe we have Ms. Kraft and our 4th and 5th grade bird teachers, or as we like to call them, our departmentalization warriors, for diving into this. So we're looking forward to your presentation. Just as a little background, we have started, what year are we in now? I forgot.
Third year.
So we're in our 3rd year of what we had started as a pilot. And we wanted to start to get data and look at things post-COVID. And we thought it was a good time to kind of finalize this and give a final presentation and where we're going from here. So I do want to thank Ms. Kraft and our teachers for presenting tonight, but also for taking a chance and trying something new. I know that sometimes that can be challenging, but you dove right in, and I think really because of you and your team, it's very successful. So Ms. Kraft, the floor is yours.
Great. Good evening, everyone. Members of the Board of Education, good evening. Thank you for having us here. I'd like to thank my teachers, my amazing staff for being here tonight. We have Ms. Cindy Loda, Mr. Daniel Song, Ms. Jen Burke, and Mrs. Jackie Neugebauer, my amazing 4th and 5th grade team. I really appreciate them being here tonight. So as Dr. Charleston said, this is our 3rd year of the pilot. I want to give, for those new board members who were not here for my original presentation, some background information about how we got here. So this is my 6th year as the Bird School principal. And of course, my 1st year was spent getting to know my teachers, my staff, my students, and just kind of taking data about what direction I wanted my school to go in. My 2nd year was pretty much the same until that lovely thing called COVID hit, and then everyone knows the rest of that story. But one thing that we learned from COVID is that it really gave us a time to reflect on our practice and how to maximize our instructional time and really maximize the capacity of our staff. So I remember the day I came to Dr. Charleston and Mr. Van Nasten and brought this idea to them. I was a 4th and 5th grade teacher for many years in the Elizabeth Public School system, and I was a teacher of both models, both the traditional model and the departmentalized model. And I remember how invigorated I felt in being a specialized teacher in one content area at the elementary school. It really gave me power, and it really gave me time to really dig deep into standards and academic achievement. So I brought the idea to administration. They were very supportive, and then I brought it back to my staff. I'll never forget the day I pulled them into one classroom, both grade 4 and 5 teachers, with the look of fear on their faces. It was like, oh God, what is she gonna do now? But when I presented the idea to them, they were very excited. So here we are, year 3. And we'll start with why we decided to go in this direction. The first thing was middle school readiness. As an elementary principal, I hear time and time again from parents in grades 4 and 5, and even grades 1 and 2 and 3, about the transition from elementary school to middle school. So we started to think about ways how we could ease that transition. Elementary school and middle school are 2 very different places, but we thought we could try to incorporate some of the middle school-like activities at the elementary school to kind of ease that transition by having them have more than one teacher. We wanted our teachers to become content experts in 2 or 3 subject areas as opposed to 5 academic subject areas, which the traditional model hosts. So that we thought was a plus. We wanted to provide additional layers of support for our students so that rather than having one teacher with them for 6 hours a day, having 2 teachers who can provide not only data about their academic progress, but about their overall well-being as students. So 2 heads or 2 minds are better than 1. Movement. We are noticing more and more as each year progresses that our students need to get up and move. And the idea of having students get up and move from one class to another in completely different environments with two different teachers with different teaching styles would be a benefit for them as they transition to middle school. Collaboration. Not only do we have collaboration among grade level teachers, but we have that vertical articulation happening with content specialists. So our 4th and 5th grade teachers of literacy are able to meet together and plan on instruction, as well as our teachers of mathematics, science, and social studies. Just not having that grade level collaboration, but that vertical articulation has been a huge plus for our pilot. So here's just a brief overview of what a traditional schedule looks like at the elementary school. A traditional elementary school teacher teaches reading, writing, word study, math, science, and social studies. And I want to preface this by saying that both models have their pros and cons. I've loved and taught in both of them, and as each of these teachers behind me has. This model was built specifically for Bird. I really wanted to maximize not only the capacity of my building, we are the smallest building at Glen Rock. We have 2 sections of every grade level, so this works perfectly for our school. I am not by any way, shape, or form knocking the traditional model, but I think that this is what's best for our school. So in the departmentalized model, our teachers, we have one teacher that teaches literacy, which is reading, writing, word study, and project-based learning. And then the other teacher teaches math, science, social studies, and project-based learning, and then they switch. So that's the difference in scheduling. So data was the biggest point. My first 2 years in the program, we did not have data because of COVID, but now we do. And I'm very happy to share the data that we do have. So here we have combined 4th and 5th grade scores. The blue line is Bird, and the red line is our district. We decided to show the data this way so that to not tie any of the data to a specific teacher, because it's only one teacher teaching all of the subjects, so we combined the scores. As you can see, since the departmentalized pilot has started, our scores are increasing by the year. So in 2000, I started at Bird at 2018. We implemented the pilot in 2021. And since 2021, our scores are growing and increasing in literacy. So those are our scores for literacy. Here are our scores for math. Again, Bird is blue, and the district is red. Those are our scores for math. And finally, science. So you can see the upward trajectory of our student academic achievement across all of the 3 tested areas for the state. So job well done by my staff. I'd like to give them a huge shout out here for their tremendous hard work. The professional development they've done in their content areas is dynamic. Each of them has really taken an effort to maximize their learning and their pedagogy, so I'm super proud of the work that they've done. They bring something different to the table, and I really enjoy seeing them in action. So teacher feedback, I'm not going to read this lengthy slide. I'd like for them to come up and speak for themselves. So I believe Ms. Loda is going to speak on their behalf.
Good evening. First and foremost, departmentalized model has allowed us to develop a deeper understanding of the standards and curriculum, which has provided more time to create targeted lesson plans and assessment that align with these standards. This means we can more effectively teach our students the skills they need to build knowledge and to succeed in each subject area. Furthermore, it enhances our ability to both enrich and remediate appropriately. In math, focusing on the content more than ever before has allowed us to perfect the application of math concepts as they relate to real-world experiences. It has also allowed us the opportunity to work closely with the math coach to bring differentiated instruction to daily practice and to keep up to date with new math pedagogies and apply them to the mathematics classroom. We have discovered the mathematics classroom, the ability to focus more time and attention on content has allowed us to be the most effective math teachers we have been in our professional careers. Our personal stress is at manageable levels, and that has allowed us to create meaningful lessons, employing the New York Times, technology, and current social trends, as well as music from our students' daily lives. Furthermore, it allowed us to adapt our instruction in math concepts to the experiences of our students. In language arts, building reading stamina and developing comprehension strategies that work for each reader is a primary focus that prepares each student for middle school. Specializing in one subject area allows us to give our students the time to strengthen and grow their stamina. Additionally, specializing in ELA has allowed us to stay current on the latest research and best practices in the field. This means we are able to incorporate these findings into our teaching and adapt our methods as needed to meet the challenging and changing needs of our students. This is most evident in word study and writing as the students learn and develop a deeper meaning and origin of words. In 5th grade, Mrs. Burke was able to create a focused, intensive morphological study that supports vocabulary in the reading of complex nonfiction texts, which also aligns with the science and social studies standards. With the departmentalized model, science and social studies are more fluidly integrated into the day of our students. The model allows for more time for us to focus on the curriculum and spend the time necessary to prepare for inquiry-based, hands-on learning that is beneficial for all our students. Overall, specializing in fewer subject areas has allowed us time to collaborate more effectively with other teachers. For example, we can each work closely with our co-teacher to develop interventions and support for struggling students, or to coordinate with our grade-level partners to help students build connections between reading, writing, math, social studies, and science. Specialization has been a key factor in our success as 4th and 5th grade teachers. By deepening our knowledge and expertise in these subject areas, we have been able to provide our students with a high-quality education that prepares them for success in all areas of their academic and personal lives. Thank you.
So in addition to the teachers, I surveyed several of our former students who are now at the middle school level just to kind of gauge their perspective after being in the departmentalized model at Byrd and how that affected their transition into middle school. I didn't get a large sampling because middle schoolers don't check their Schoology accounts as often as I would like them to. But the few that I did hear back from said that the departmentalized model definitely helped them with the transition. They did acknowledge that it's on a lot smaller scale, which we all know, but having multiple teachers and having different expectations definitely helped them with the transition. I also surveyed those same parents. I heard from quite a few more of them than I did their children. And overall, the feedback was positive. I think that one of the things that came up consistently was the amount of homework that we assign at the elementary school is vastly different from the amount of homework we're receiving at the middle school, but that's a different issue, so I'm not even going to touch that one. But they did feel strongly that the departmentalized model definitely helped them with the transition to middle school. I included some quotes from some of the parents that they were very much impressed with the way the model helped them transition into middle school. So in thinking about next steps, our 3rd grade team they have started this year already in the latter part of the year, departmentalizing in science and social studies only. We're going to continue that for next year and just keep it that way. We still believe solidly that at the primary grades we want to keep a very traditional model going, but we started to dabble with 3rd grade and we're going to continue that next year. We're going to continue looking at study skills based off of the learning strategies model at the middle school level. I know that I spoke with Mrs. Lebrano earlier this year before her maternity leave, and she did a lot of work with her staff on refining what happened in that learning strategies class. We want to apply that thinking to a study skills. We hear a lot about executive functioning and getting kids responsible for their organization. We tried to do that separately as an independent 20-minute block of the school day, but the reality is that we find it works best when it's infused throughout the course of the day and it's infused in the different subject areas. So we're going to take a look at the learning strategies model and kind of think about how we can incorporate that into our model. In our math classrooms, Mrs. Neugebauer and Ms. Luda are working in a PLC on a book called Building Thinking Classrooms in Mathematics. That book and that work has been done already at the middle school level with Michelle Della Fortuna and our instructional coach. So we're going to bring some of those strategies into the elementary school and the math classrooms, and it's a nice segue in to the middle school math classroom. And we're still exploring the potential of merging social studies and literacy and creating a humanities block. We love the idea, but we just want to make it equitable with regards to instructional minutes, because if the literacy teacher now takes upon social studies, then she's teaching a heck of a lot more than the math and science teachers. We love the idea, but we just don't know how it's going to quite work. We want to keep exploring that option. And that is it. And I am open for any questions. Thank you for your time and for the opportunity to present something and try something different at Byrd School. As I said, it's really worked beautifully for our staff, for our school morale. The kids are happy. It's a happy place, and I'm thankful for the opportunity. So thank you.
Okay, yep, go for it.
Thank you for this. I actually taught in a traditional and also departmentalized, and I totally agree with the departmentalized. What does a typical day look like for the kids? Like, how many minutes do they have? Like, do they come in, go to homeroom, and then is that their language arts? Is that their first period? Just like an overview on how long they're in
Sure.
each class.
Yeah, so in both fourth and fifth grade, they start their day with their homeroom teacher. So they start there. So whatever subject their homeroom teacher teaches, that's the subject they start their day with. So Ms. Neugebauer's class will start their day in her homeroom, have math for 60 minutes, then they'll transition to science or social studies for 42 minutes, right? I'm right, right? And then they'll have that 20-minute, what? And project-based learning. And then they'll have lunch, and then in the afternoon they'll switch. Those same students will go to Ms. Burke's class for reading, writing, word study, and then they're special. And the same thing applies for fourth grade. So they'll start with their homeroom teacher and whatever specialization they teach, and then they'll switch after lunch.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Ms. Scarpelli?
I don't have a question. I just want to thank you for this presentation, and I love the fact that you brought in the data that supports this model, and I'm happy to see that it is really, truly improving for our students and for you in your teaching. So thank you for doing this. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes my report, Dr. Robinson.
Okay, all right, thank you, Dr. Charleston. All right. May I have a motion to read and subsequently approve the resolution on celebrating School Board Recognition Month? Ms. Scarpelli, seconded by Ms. Stevenson. We will start by, in our traditional fashion, just reading through the resolution in a round-robin fashion. Whereas the New Jersey School Boards Association has declared January 2024 to be School Board Recognition Month, a time when all residents can acknowledge the contributions made by our local school board members, and
Whereas the Glen Rock Board of Education is one of 581 local school boards in New Jersey, which sets policies and oversees operations for public school districts, and
Whereas the Glen Rock Board of Education embraces the goal of high-quality education for all New Jersey public school students, and
Ms. Kalbitz.
Whereas New Jersey's local school boards help determine the educational goals for approximately 1.4 million children in pre-kindergarten through 12th grade, and
Whereas New Jersey's 5,000 local school board members who receive no for their services act as advocates for public school students as they work with administrators, teachers, and parents for the betterment of public education, and
Whereas school boards strive to provide the resources necessary to meet the needs of all students, including those with special needs, and
Whereas boards of education provide accountability to the public, they communicate the needs of the school district to the public, and they convey to school administrators the public's expectations for schools, and
Whereas New Jersey can take pride in its schools, which rank among the nation's best in key achievement indicators such as the National Assessment of Educational Progress scores and the preparation for college through advanced placement offerings and SAT assessments.
Now therefore be it resolved that the Glen Rock Board of Education does hereby recognize the services of local school board members throughout New Jersey as we join communities statewide in observing January 2024 as School Board Recognition Month, and
be it further resolved that the Glen Rock Board of Education urges all New Jersey citizens to work with their local boards of education and public school staff toward the advancement of our children's education.
thank you. Mr. Canales, can you please call roll?
Ms. Calvez,
here.
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Carasola, Ms. Carr,
yes.
Mr. Corey,
yes.
Mr. Hayward,
yes.
Ms. Scarpelli,
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson,
yes.
Ms. Rendell,
Yes.
Dr. Robinson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Excellent. I would like to open the floor to public comment on agenda items only. This is our first of two public comments. We can open at 7:29 p.m. Each speaker, please state your name and address. And you have 3 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Orly Goldfeld, 72 Delmar Avenue. I'm here to talk about the preschool expansion plans. I saw the last meeting, there was a very robust conversation with lots of questions from the board, which I appreciated. One of the questions was whether there had been whether the administration had received any input from parents. The answer was no. And I think that before you make the decision to go with the plans that the administration is suggesting, you should hear some feedback from parents that I've gotten as part of my involvement in CPAC, which is the Special Education Parents Advisory Council. There certainly are pros to the plan in terms of receiving funding, expanding preschool for children, possibly adding gen ed students to the preschool population. But there are a lot of cons. I'll go through them. Is there asbestos in the basement? If there is, has that been budgeted for remediation? The proposal is to have a brick enclosed playground with no permanent playground equipment. That permanent apparatus is often used to help with physical development of children. And also I would suggest that a brick enclosed playground area doesn't provide enough sunlight for kids. The kids will be outside making noise while the older kids are inside. The media center, which was recently refurbished, does not have a dedicated elementary or preschool area with appropriate furniture. Is that going to be considered? And are we going to guarantee that middle school and high school students are not in the media center, or not disrupting, or not being disrupted by preschool students? The space is subterranean with very small windows. The New Jersey Code requires maximized windows for sunlight for preschools. In order to access the space, you have to use the staircase. A lot of these kids might have physical disabilities or just motor planning difficulties that will make it difficult for them to navigate staircases. Where are related services going to be housed, and those teachers or providers of occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, are they getting additional funding for the resources that they'll need to develop another space in the building? Are you going to have to hire additional staff to offer those services? Do the kids get access to any specials that they would have at the elementary school, like music and art? Where is that located? In case of an emergency, God forbid, where are the kids located that they can quickly exit the building in a safe manner without all middle school and high schoolers rushing with them? Preschool teachers are not going to be they're not going to be delegated to any particular elementary school. How does that help their professional development where they're not able to interact with other teachers of younger students? There's no contact or interaction between the preschoolers and elementary age schoolers that you would want them emulating their behaviors. And there's no opportunity for the parents and guardians of these special ed students to interact with other parents and guardians of children their age. So I would hope that you have a robust conversation before deciding whether to go forward with the expansion plan as proposed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Madeline Thomas. I live at 20 Norwood Avenue in Glen Rock. And with my son Bradley, I will be leaving the Glen Rock educational system after 20 years. Here for 4 things. The first thing I want to do is to thank this Board of Ed for its support for families like me who are caretakers of older parents during the pandemic. The fact that my son was able to have a virtual 9th grade year gave us much peace of mind and safety, so I want to thank you for that. The second thing I want to do is I want to thank you for the Option 2 program for course credit for acceleration. I know a lot of times that's something that you simply read about, you approve, and it continues, but I want to put a face behind it. With the approval of the Glen Rock Math and Science departments and the support of Ms. Malone, who is my son Bradley's guidance counselor, and mommy chauffeur, my son was able to take at Bergen Community College differential equations, calculus 3, and linear algebra, 3 courses that he really immensely enjoyed. virtually over the summer. He was able to take at University of California, Introduction to Proof and Problem Solving in Number Theory. He's been able to use the Option 2 program at Montclair State University to take University Physics Problem Solving 1 and 2, Advanced Calculus 1, and General Relativity. You remember when we were here before the board and we were trying to get Glen Rock to push ahead, and you know when I shared his passion for physics, he has been able to use the Option 2 program just to jump forward, and we are incredibly appreciative for what you've been able to do. I want to share 4 pros. Montclair State University and Bergen Community College are close. That's one thing. Second thing, as a high schooler, my son has been fortunate enough to learn the importance of study groups. And he's been able to learn that you just don't let everyone who runs towards you and wants to join your study group join it, because it doesn't work out. So for him as a high school student to be ready to start college with that, it's invaluable. He's been able to learn that professors' office hours are invitations to come in and talk about anything having to do with math and physics. And sadly, because my son is the only black male out of the 176 students that are in his graduating class, he's found diversity. Both at Montclair State University and Bergen Community College, he's been able to take classes with Latino and black male and female students. And I think that has been something incredibly important. The con is block scheduling has meant classes after school, and I think our toughest was Montclair State University had a class that met once a week from 5:30 to 8 on Fridays. So that was the ultimate parental sacrifice. But I want to say that senior year, he has a fantastic guidance counselor, Ms. April Malone, who has freed up his afternoons. So we are able to continue. He is still using Option 2, and we're going to MSU. For physics, he's taking fluid mechanics, and for math, he's taking the foundation of modern algebra. And this is all because of you and the Option 2 program. My final public thanks is for Ms. April Malone, who is his guidance counselor. She discovered information about Bradley's first physics research program 3 days before its due date. Ms. Malone, Mr. Muir, who is the high school physics teacher, and Bradley gave 300% to get his application completed and submitted on time. Bradley was able to go, representing Glen Rock High School, to Michigan State University Facilities for Rare Isotope Beams, where he performed research on, and I don't understand, but I know he did it, strontium-90 and americium-241 to determine the efficiency of certain scintillators in short-range experiments. Fabulous, fabulous. Ms. Malone has supported Bradley as an early college scholar at Montclair State University. She supported Bradley at Bergen Community College Bergen Experience program because both have required a guidance counselor's support and encouragement, and she has done both. Bradley has applied to numerous STEM programs, and Ms. Malone has always responded graciously and quickly. My final comment about Ms. Malone, and obviously I'm the president of her fan club, is last summer, there were so many kids who were going for a limited number of physics research opportunities this summer. Bradley had applied to 3. We got the notification that number 3, his third choice, was full. So Bradley, Ms. Malone, and I started getting a little anxious. They met together, they planned Plan B, which meant that Bradley would go to Bergen Community College for 4 evenings to take differential equations and calculus 3 if he wasn't accepted into a physics summer program.
I would just like to mention, I love it.
I have to stop talking because I'm talking too much. Can I have Bradley talk? I have 1 paragraph left, Madam President. 20 years at Glen Rock, a lot of taxes.
Yes, absolutely. You're coming to a conclusion, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Can I have him stand next to me?
No,
Only 1 paragraph left?
You have one.
Stand next to me, and it then counts as your 2 minutes. Come on. Come on up to me.
It's okay.
I have 1, and you all should be proud because
We are proud.
without So, okay, Ms. Malone wound up helping Bradley get into this Brookhaven National Laboratory High School Research Program. And when we did the happy dance, I said to Bradley, okay, you're going to do the Brookhaven Laboratory and you're not going to do Bergen Community College. Bradley said, let me go talk to Ms. Malone, Mom. You are not a guidance counselor. He talked to her. She said, let him go for both. He did. She found in my child an ability and a drive that I did not identify. So I really want to give kudos to her as a fabulous guidance counselor. I'm done. It's been 20 great years. Thank you all. That's it.
Okay. Are there any other members of the public who would like to make a public comment? Okay. At this time, at 7:40, I am closing public comments on agenda items. All right. I need a motion to discuss resolutions G1 through G8. Ms. Scarpelli, seconded by Mr. Corey. Are there any comments on agenda items G1 through 8? All right, Mr. Canellis, if we can call roll.
Ms. Calvez,
Yes.
Ms. Carr,
Yes.
Mr. Corey,
Yes.
Mr. Hayward,
Yes.
Ms. Scarpelli,
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson,
Yes.
Ms. Rundell,
Yes.
Dr. Robinson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. I need a resolution, I need a motion to discuss RB items. There you go. Mr. Hayward, seconded by Ms. Rundell. Yes, Ms. Scarpelli.
Yeah, I just want to state on Resolution B 15 and 16, I am going to be abstaining. It's not that I don't support this program that we've put forth. I just feel like there's a lot of unanswered questions that we won't have the answers to until after we meet with the schools that have this in place and we discuss all the questions that were not really answered at the last meeting. So for that, I will be abstaining on 15 and 16.
Ms.
You can go first.
Oh, you sure? With regards, I guess it's 15, the pre-K expansion, I do want to say that I will be voting yes with reservation. I had emailed more questions to Dr. Charleston, spoke with Dr. Robinson today. I'm always afraid of, everybody's afraid of the unknown. There's a lot of unknowns that could be worked out. It's a big leap. I've gone through this before with, as I explained to Dr. Robinson today, I went through this with the full-day expansion program. There are hidden costs, or unknown costs, I shouldn't say hidden, there are unknown costs associated. And while I know that doesn't play into this budget, it does play into future budgets that I'm concerned about. There are still plenty of unknowns to be worked out. I am in support of the expansion program. I think the benefits outweigh the cons, but I am yes with reservation. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Stevenson.
Also, again, on 15 and 16, I echo what Sharon and Elizabeth have said. I support this program 100%. I think there's so many positives to it. I'm not comfortable logistically with a few things that really do bring me concern. And I've gone back and forth on this, and whether to vote, to either to abstain or to vote yes with reservations on it. Again, there are unknowns. I have a lot of concerns that I don't feel were addressed fully, and then tonight we heard some more concerns. I mean, it's an opportunity, and we don't want to miss out on getting money. You know, I put a lot of thought into this, so I just wanted to put that out there.
Appreciate it. Mr. Hayward.
I'd like to thank Mr. Canales and probably Mr. Van Est for their fast moves related to the auditorium and caring about the students and their plays and performances. I know that was sort of a curveball and you got blindsided, and I'm amazed that you guys were able to address it that quick. So thank you.
I appreciate that, Mr. Hayward. Also, I just want to shout out that the staff who are running the musical in the music department have been so supportive and professional and like level-headed and really pleasant to work with. So I really wanted to say that out loud to everybody. It's been really great working with them and their responses to everything. I think with Mr. Canellis as well.
Yes. Yes. Mr. Corey.
Yeah, regarding the auditorium as well, I grew up in a high school theater, and it's unbelievable that we're able to line up these resources. We can have the report saying we need to do what we're doing, so I fully support continuing to do that. I think it's an opportunity for us as a board to consider things that are capital projects that might come up every 30 years, and here we are at that juncture. It's hard to forecast that beyond the tenure of some former board members even, that we have to face that, and I'm glad that we're stepping forward with that. So thank you.
Okay. All right. Barring nothing else, can we call roll, please?
Ms. Calves,
Yes.
Ms. Carr,
Yes, except as noted with reservation.
Mr. Corey,
Yes.
Mr. Hayward,
Yes.
Ms. Scarpelli,
Yes, except as noted.
Ms. Stevenson,
Yes, except for B15 and 16, I'm abstaining.
Ms. Rendell,
Yes.
Dr. Robinson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. May I have what is the word? A motion. A motion to discuss the P items. Ms. Scarpelli, seconded by Mr. Hayward. P1 through 10, any items for discussion? No? Barring no discussion, can you call roll, please, Mr. Canales?
Ms. Calves,
Yes.
Ms. Carr,
Yes.
Mr. Corey,
Yes.
Mr. Hayward,
Yes.
Ms. Scarpelli,
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson,
Yes.
Ms. Rendell,
Yes.
Dr. Robinson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Can I have a motion to affirm the HIB decision as reported by the Chief School Administrator during the January 8th closed work session, please? Ms. Carr, seconded by Ms. Stevenson. Roll call, please.
Ms. Calves,
Yes.
Ms. Carr,
Yes.
Mr. Corey,
Yes.
Mr. Hayward,
Yes.
Ms. Scarpelli,
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson,
Yes.
Ms. Rendell,
Yes.
Dr. Robinson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. And we have our vandalism, suspension, and HIB reports. If no questions, we can move into our second public comments of our meeting. I would like to open the floor to public comment on any item at 7:48 p.m. We have 3 minutes per speaker. Please state your name and your address.
Good evening. Colleen Manley, 70 Ridge Road. I'm here marking the 4th anniversary of what I consider to be one of the most memorable meetings in Board of Education history. I shall call it, it was energetic, it was spirited. It was the meeting about when the proposals were put forth to combine the principals of the middle school and high school, as well as bring supervisors into the district. I, for one, supported both initiatives, but still, I will never forget that meeting. And I know at least half of you were there for the meeting. I'm not sure about everybody. There was a ton of discussion. There was a ton of statements from the public, lots of back and forth. I'll admit I didn't understand, a lot of the controversy around it. I had worked with the prior superintendent, the interim superintendent, who had talked a lot about supervisors. So my point being, that was an incredible meeting. It happened about 6 weeks before COVID, so after that, and I was incredibly grateful, and I thought it was wonderful that we had the supervisors heading into COVID. And anyway, you guys know I'm very supportive of the school district. I'm very supportive of all of you. 4 years later, though, I am disappointed that given how big of a move it was to have all those supervisors, there has never been a public forum aimed at the community where the supervisors share what they've done. Like where they come in, they are, I guess we all know what the benefits were, so I'm just going to say, and I've been here before requesting it. I know, and then more recently I requested it just in a smaller forum and was completely disregarded. And I don't make assumptions that I understand all the reasoning behind it, but I think there's a way to do it. I see communication as being key. I think parents care, and I'm not looking to stir up controversy ever. Maybe there are conversations. Maybe there's different perspectives that are shared. So I just wanted to bring that to you because I think as the board, you are the level at which, what are the things that should be brought to the community? And I bring us back to when Dr. Regan was here, which was sort of the prior model, where we had centralized curriculum development. And one of the downsides of that was that every subject was on like a 5-year path. So you couldn't do a lot of innovation. That was one of the strong points of bringing supervisors in. And I just want to say, me, and I know it's not just me, to be perfectly fair, because I've had these conversations with others. I would just love to hear from them about, so here's where we're at. And maybe it's just once a year. Dr. Regan used to not only present to you, she used to present to the Federated. She'd go to some HSA meetings. Sometimes she would hold a special session, I went to one on everyday math a gazillion years ago. So I just want to say, I'm just disappointed 4 years later. I'm not disappointed in the supervisors. I've talked to many of them individually. Not at all. I think there's great information to be shared. I'm just disappointed there hasn't been an effort to do so. So I hope you'll consider that for the future. Maybe it could be fit into the schedule. Maybe if there are concerns about it, the new publicity person, communications person, maybe you talk with that person about how do I set this up so that I'm comfortable. But this is a town of people who are really interested in what's going on. And I think that presentation by Principal Kraft and such exemplifies it. It was amazing, that pilot project and what it's done. And obviously you can't get into that level of detail. I just think there should be a forum. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Manley. All right. If there are no other public comments, we can close our second public comment session at 7:53 p.m. Does anyone have any old business to discuss with the board? Okay. Does anyone have any new business that they would like to bring to the board? Okay. All right. I need a motion to adjourn this meeting. Made by Ms. Stevenson and seconded by Mr. Hayward. All right, this meeting is adjourned.